everyone, and welcome to not just a new episode, not just a new series, but a new Football Manager game. FM22 beta has dropped. We are going in on our first series. Welcome to episode 1 of the beta battle at Aston Villa. Here we are, the excitement is real. FM22 has dropped in the beta form, so there might be some bugs that we find along the way, there might be some issues here and there, but ultimately we have FM22 to play, and I've tinkered about with it just a little bit to get us through to the first competitive match for our season with Aston Villa, and it's looking pretty spectacular so far. All little minor changes to a lot of people, but actually when the game is this good in the first place, I think there's been some really good steps forward. We will check out all of the new stuff over the next couple of weeks of the beta, but we're not going to do it all in this one episode. Today, the main focus will be getting through to that first game against West Ham United in the Premier League and checking out the updated match engine animations to see what we make of that. So that's basically going to be the primary thought for this first particular episode. But the beta battle, for anybody that doesn't know, I've got one season to play as Aston Villa. I'm going to set all the targets that I can, and then Dean Smith, in real terms, is going to go through his season. Come May, I'll be back with another update episode, and we'll see who won the beta battle, who got the most out of Aston Villa in this one season. So let's get going, because there's a lot to figure out. So firstly, we're going to look at a couple of players that I've brought into the club just to round off the squad a little bit. Aston Villa did a lot of business in the summer. You can see that they spent just under £100 million. We've taken it over that, but they did pretty good job. I mean, the likes of Buendia, Leon Bailey, Danny Ings has come into the club. So there's lots of really good talent that has been brought in already. But there were one or two little gaps, and we've brought 3 players in, 1 on loan, 2 on permanent deals. I've not sent anybody out of the club at this point. That may still happen. It's unlikely to, though, unless it's just youngsters, basically. We might have just sent a couple out on loan. But other than that, we haven't got rid of anybody. So the first one is this guy, Liam Delap, Man City. We got him in on loan. We just needed that third place striker, really. And I wasn't so sure about the youngsters in and around the squad already. We do have Danny Ings, and we also have Ollie Watkins as well. So those are going to be our main strikers. But Delap in for a season, 18 years old, has got the physicals we need in terms of a bit of a pace. He's got good determination, a bit of aggression in there. And over the season, if we can get him a little bit of game time, you'll see things like his finishing, composure, etc. just up slightly. He's not the finished article, won't play a huge amount, but we'll just cover the squad a little bit so that Watkins and Ings can play the games that they need to play. The next one in is a central midfield player. We've got a couple of really, really good midfielders, but when I set my style of play up, my tactic up, I found that there was one spot that we just needed a little bit of reinforcements in, and it's Lewis Ferguson that we brought in, a player I know quite well, because we had him at Aberdeen in one of my FM21 saves, if you'll remember, and he comes in to cover that central midfield player. McGinn will be the main guy playing in the role that this guy is here to cover. But I think as a deputy, he's not too bad. 21 years old, good mentals, good physicals. A little bit here and there could be upped in his technicals, but we can work on that over the season, hopefully. He'll get a bit of game time. But again, it's just that option to rotate in that central midfield spot. And the final one that we brought in was I felt I needed a second properly good right back. Didn't really feel I had a second one past Matty Cash. So we brought in this guy, Ruben Aguilera. Cost us a little bit of money, but I think as a backup right back, he's pretty decent. 28-year-old French guy, but he's got 14 tackling, 14 crossing, 14 pace. Stamina is at 15, so he can get up and down that right-hand side if need be. Work rate is really strong. Teamwork's really strong. Determination is really strong. I think there's a lot of good stuff in this guy, again, as a rotating option in our squad. 3 squad players, really, just to supplement what I thought was a pretty well-balanced Aston Villa squad. So those are the only transfers that we have made. So the transfers are in, but it could still happen that we could make one or two moves here and there, depending on if anybody comes and buys any of our players, because the transfer window hasn't closed yet. But welcome to the weird and wacky world of how we are going to play as Aston Villa, as much as I can. If it doesn't work, I will kick it to the curb and do something different. But if you've joined me at all over on my Twitch streams every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. till 5 p.m. usually, UK time, then you will have seen this mad monstrosity of a formation. This is my weird asymmetric formation that I was using with Aston Villa. I'm trying to figure out whether it would translate to other clubs, and I thought this was the perfect opportunity to see. So we're going to see if we can get this one to work. It looks a bit odd, but basically it's still just a 4-4-1-1 really in essence. Bailey will attack with Target down the left-hand side much more than Buendia and Cash will down the right-hand side. They will keep their positions a little bit more, give us a little bit more security at the back. The defensive midfielder will cover Target as he moves forward. McGinn gets up and down in the box-to-box midfield role. Actually, it's not as weird as it first looks, but it still has a little bit of a weirdness to it. And we're going to play the vertical tiki-taka because that's just the style of play that I really like to play. And we'll see if it works. As I say, if this doesn't, we will revert back to a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 or something like that and just see what we can get to work over the season. Because I do want to get as good a result as I can here to try and beat Dean Smith in this one-season battle. So we've got one major injury issue just at the moment, and that is to, not an injury issue, what I'm talking about. He's on holiday still. Douglas Luiz is still on holiday, having played in the summer for Brazil, I would imagine. So he's currently out. There are a couple of injuries. Trezeguet, unfortunately, a good wing player. This guy, he plays out on the left wing normally. He's going to be out for about 7 months, unfortunately, at the start of the game. So we're unlikely to see too much of him. But hopefully, late in the season, he can come in and maybe have an impact just in the dying games of the season. So we'll see. But he's out for a big long-term period. We've also picked up an injury for Aguilera, the new right-back that we bought in. But it's only for the next week or so. So he will be back soon. Everybody else is mostly fit. We had a reasonable, I say reasonable, it was pretty good, friendly set of games before the start of the season. Lost one in the middle of it, but other than that, looked pretty decent in and around of it. And we've got a decent start in the Premier League. Leeds, Watford, Burnley, Southampton, Wolves are the first few fixtures before we have to play Liverpool, Tottenham, Man United all in October, followed by Leicester in early December. So that period is going to be challenging. But before that, we've got some winnable fixtures. Carabao Cup second round, we've been drawn against Southampton as well. Let's just go and nip into the competition page and into the Premier League just to see what the media prediction is for us. The season preview will tell us that. So if we go in there, the media are predicting us 11th. What I've told the players I want is that top half finish, and we'll see how well we can cope with that. We're obviously not going to have anybody in the media dream 11. That's covered by the likes of Man City and Liverpool primarily. But if we go to the key players, this will tell us who the media think our key players are, and it's Leon Bailey and Danny Ings, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. So those two are going to be really important for us. So primarily, Leon Bailey, who can play right and left, will play on that left-hand side for us. Buendia fits this role here perfectly well because I had him on my AC Milan save on Twitch, so I know that he does. And we'll see what happens as we move through the season. There's lots of good players here. I think we can do bits with this team, but quite how good they're going to be, I'm not 100% sure. So we'll meet the team a little bit more as we go through the save. Today, we're just going to get straight into that first game and see what happens with that one. So for the first match of FM22, we're going in with Martinez in goal, Cash at right back, Mings and Concert in central defence, Target at left wing back, Nakamba, McGinn and Sanson in midfield, Buendia on the right, Bailey on the left, and Ings up top, with about 9 players from our squad on the bench this season in the Premier League. So not a bad size bench to have at all. So let's get into this first match and see what happens. So So in terms of team talk, we're going to go with hands together as a gesture, and we're going to go, I want to be impressed today, go out and put on a show. I want to see what this group of players can do against a tricky side in West Ham. They are a very good outfit, made very, very difficult to beat, but we've got to pick up some points here and there, so why not today? And we are at home. So let's go through to the game and see what happens. Into the tunnel we go. Here's an opportunity to talk to the press. So the question is, how are you feeling today as you're about to make your managerial debut? I've had plenty of time to think and prepare. Now I'm ready to go and do what I came here to do and win football matches. First goal is crucial, right? I'm hopeful for a strong start and positive approach. Do you hope your team can produce today? Of course. What a stupid question that is. No, I hope they don't perform at all. What an idiot of a journalist that is. But there we go. I think we have had a good build up to this match, and we look to prime to perform. And there we go, into the first game of the season. There is our weird asymmetric madness that may not work in the Premier League with this particular group of players, but I'm determined to create United City ball with something, and it might be this as we progress through these particular series. We'll see. Aston Villa sitting second in the league, alphabetically, of course. I'd quite like the season to end at that point, really, with us in second place. But here come the players out for the start of the match. The nice new match engine. The match engine has been rejigged a lot in terms of the animations of the players. It's completely different. The structure of how they put it together has been completely wiped and changed. We'll have to wait and see what the first highlight brings. Just look out for the touch of the ball in terms of kicking the ball around just as you're dribbling and stuff. Feels much more weighty, the ball. Just feels more connected to the players as they're kicking it and moving it about. But we'll have to wait for the first highlight for that. In terms of how the game has started, though, 20 minutes in, very quiet, but we have had the better of it in the statistics. And here is the first opportunity to see the game in action. I might not have my settings quite right yet. We'll have to play about with these over the next few episodes. So bear with me on that one. If it might feel a little bit slow or a little bit jerky or something, I'll have to play about with exactly what settings I use in the background. These for now, though, will do for today's match. And you can just feel, I think, that as they kick the ball around, it just feels a little bit more weighty. They're having to control the ball better with their first touch, etc. Ball goes through for a Danny Ings, and he is the one that gets our Football Manager 2022 journey off to a brilliant start with a lovely goal after 22 minutes. Ball came into him down the right-hand side of about the 6-yard box sort of area in the penalty box. He drove towards the 6-yard box and eventually put it past the goalkeeper for 1-0. Nice finish, and he is a really, really good finisher and will get us a lot of goals if we can create him the opportunities. And so far, it's looking good. 6 shots at goal, 3 on target for us, 1-1 for them. So we are playing well. We are dominating a lot of those opportunities. West Ham in the 4-2-3-1. We'll see where the gaps arise as we go through this particular match. West Ham on the ball on this occasion, though, trying to find a way to work their own opportunities. We'll see what happens. Over the top they go, down the left-hand side, into the box. Can he drag it back? He does. And he gets Michael Antonio gets a good shot or goal. Not too dissimilar to Danny Ings' shot, really. And it kind of goes into the roof of the net. I would have liked Martinez to do a little bit better with that one, to be honest. I think he was a little bit flat-footed. Could have potentially done a bit more and got beaten at his near post. Not really covering himself in glory on that one, but it's still early in the season and the player player morale and all sorts of things need to be worked on. The team spirit needs to be worked on. As the season progresses, we will get better just because we'll knit together as a squad a little bit more over that first season. So we'll see that as the season progresses. But for now, we're actually not doing too badly. West Ham are a tricky side. They're one that we would like to get points off, but there's no guarantees of that. They're a team that are kind of in and around where we are in the pecking order of the Premier League, I would suggest. So 1-1 at half-time. I'm not too disappointed, but we do need to step it up a little bit in this second half. The statistics are in our favour. The match action, not quite. Now, there are about 4,000 additions between things like the press conferences, the staff meetings, and here in the team talks. 4,000 added different phrases, etc., that we can now say across those different meetings in FM22. So we might find some unfamiliar ones in here, but that's a really good thing. Just keeps you thinking about what you're saying a little bit. For now, I think what we want to do is not go overboard. This is game number 1. So we're going to go hands in the pockets as a gesture, but we are going to just poke the bear a little bit. And we'll say, I don't like what I've just saw from the team, just to let them know that our standards have got to be slightly higher, especially in creating those chances and putting them away. What we are also going to do is just go into the tactics page, and we are going to just slightly change up the mentality from balanced to positive, and see if we can put West Ham to the sword at the early part of this second half, because all the statistics said that we had the better of the first half. So we'll have to wait and see whether that translates into this second half or not. But here we go, back into the game. Everybody's reasonably fit, of course, having had a good pre-season, most of them anyway. There was a few that were away because they were on international duty over the summer and didn't come back till late. So we're still bedding a few into our way of play, etc. But ultimately, I think this is going reasonably well. Reasonably. But when we get Louise back into that central midfield role, the defensive midfield role, that's going to be even better for us. But up until then, Nakamba is doing pretty well as a deputy, although he has just messed that up. Just as I say that he was doing all right, he went in for a challenge. He's already been booked, and he got a second yellow card and got sent off. That is madness. Why do I ever think about talking over these clips? For goodness sake. Right, because of that, we're going to have to redo our shape a little bit. So we're going to draw target into fullback. We're going to bring Sanson back into central midfield. For those that don't know Sanson, I found him here. I don't really know him much at all either. Morgan Sanson plays in central midfield. French, 26-year-old, valued somewhere between 26 and 31 mil. And is actually pretty decent. Good teamwork in there, good passing, good vision. He's playing in the attacking midfield role a lot, so he's going to get a few long shots for us, etc. Not a bad little player, I don't think. So we're just going to shift Buendia up on the right-hand side and play that sort of 4-4-1 formation now that we are down to 10 men, unfortunately. Confirm those changes, go back out. And we're going to have to take it back out of the positive, I think, and put it back into balanced, if it will let me. Thank you. Oh, for goodness sake. Why is it not letting me do that? Click on it. Menu comes up. Balanced. Thank you. That's all I wanted to do. Every time I moved the mouse over it, it disappeared. Anyway, Mings on the ball. Can we get a surprise goal with 10 men on the pitch? That would be a real bonus for us. Concert on the ball, back into Mings, playing it around at the back. If we get caught out there, it'll be difficult, but we didn't. We found Matty Cash down this right-hand side, drives to the byline, really good run, and in the near post, we had a chance, and we still maintained possession briefly, but then we slightly lose out on that one, and it's going to be West Ham that counter-attack us, but Cash doing his job, getting back in, and supporting the defence as much as he was doing the attacking duty a second ago, and gets a really good challenge in, and it cuts the highlight off for West Ham, which is good. 68 minutes on the clock. We're going to have to think about a couple of substitutions in a second, just to get some fresh legs on, really. Just keep checking out who we've got in this squad and how well they can do, especially with 10 men. You can see that some of them are floundering a little bit. The likes of Buendia now struggling, so we're going to take him out, and we've got Bertrand Traore that will come in and play down that right-hand side for us. Bailey not having a great game, is he? 6.4. We've got Ollie Watkins, who can kind of cover the left side as well as the striker if we want him to, so we could do that. McGinn also not having a great day, so we'll bring the new guy Ferguson in to come and play that box-to-box midfield role and see whether he can cope. But actually, what we're going to do is we're going to just get him to sit a little bit more. So I think for now, we'll put him in as the Carrilero, which is going to stay on that line but move side to side a little bit and cover that particular area just a bit, especially if Sanson gets forward just a tad. So we'll use that role with him for now. Couple of players not having great days, are they really? Concert on a 6.5, but I think it is Bailey that we'll have to take out. And because Ings is playing well up top, we don't need Watkins to play up there today, so we will put him in on the left-hand side instead. as an inside forward. So hopefully, attacking-wise, he'll still get in an opportunity to impact the game in the striking position. We'll see. So back in for the last sort of 20 minutes of the match. We'll see whether we can get anything out of this one. To be honest, I'll be happy to get out of it with a draw at this point as a West Ham free kick comes in. We'll see what happens here. But this is going to be tricky for us to see out these last 15, 20 minutes. And especially if they have shots like that. But on this occasion, it hit the woodwork and we managed to boot it clear, which is okay by me. But the sighter was there. If we keep giving them free kicks in and around that top of the penalty box, they could well find a route through. Throw-in comes in. Not quite sure what happened there. Saw a push, apparently, in the middle of it. A push by who? That's the question. Oh, no. We're going to give a penalty away and cause ourselves a second problem in the match. If this is going to be the route through our first season of FM22, it's going to be a lot of hard work. Our players have to cut out the mistakes. The second yellow card for our midfielder got him sent off. A push in the box got a penalty given to West Ham. And we're going to potentially lose this game from our own errors a little bit. And that is really disappointing. We had a good friendly pre-season set. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more of a positive start, if I'm totally honest. But there's not much else we can do other than just keep carrying on. So Traore comes in with the corner kick. They get it cleared, but we're going to pick up the ball. Target back out to Traore, who stayed out on that far side. Sanson with the long shot, and there you go. Sanson, our attacking midfielder, pointed him out to you, said that I was surprised by how good he was. And there is his first effort of the season, and it goes smashing into the back of the net. From long distance, he's got a good long shot on him. And we go back to 2-2 with about 13 minutes plus injury time to play. So time is ticking on. That's a good goal for us. We're going to stay in the balanced mentality. We're not going to go too defensive because with 10 men, it will draw them onto us too much. We still have to find a way to try and play out a little bit. So we'll stay in the balance rather than going cautious. But 8 minutes to go. Can we hold on to this second opportunity for a draw? Having gone down 2-1, we're back to 2-2. Can we see it out? A couple of minutes left plus injury time. The yellow cards, etc. still mounting up. Antonio has gone off injured for West Ham. So now they're playing the last few minutes with 10 men as well. Does that help us in our favour? At the moment, it's West Ham's ball. What sort of a shot was that? Was that deflected or was that a chip? Not 100% sure on that one, but whatever happened, Rice managed to dink it over the goalkeeper somehow. We'll have to see here. Did it take a deflection? It didn't. He just literally dinked it over the keeper from a really strange angle, but it did leave Martinez flailing again. And we go 3-2 down. Cash on the ball for us with a throw-in. Is there one chance in here to get a third opportunity at a draw, or are we going to go down at this point? Mings on the ball, into Sanson again, drops it out wide left to Target. Target gets the chance for the cross-in, doesn't quite make it. Then Sanson does. And Traore, at this near post as we look at it, had a brilliant opportunity on the header, got his head to the ball ahead of the defender, and then missed the target, unfortunately. Couldn't put it at goal. And now Areola for West Ham is just going to take his time, put it into midfield. Fortunately, we win it. And Danny Ings drives back into the penalty box. One more chance, possibly. It gets blocked, unfortunately. The cross came in, gets blocked. We get one last throw in. The time is up, really. We've got seconds remaining. We're going to have to get it in there pretty quickly. Cash is being held up on this near side. We do get the ball in the box, but then they clear it. And it looks like we're going to go down to a 3-2 defeat on the opening day of the season. Disappointing. And the most disappointing element is that we got a sending off and we gave away a penalty in two completely different incidents. And we kind of caused it ourselves, our own defeat, really. Look at the statistics for the match. 14 shots at goal, 8 on target, 8 and 6 for them. We had a better XG, the expected goals rating. We had more possession of the play. Just didn't quite work out for us. But I do think there's a really good set of players in here. We'll have some better days than this. We'll have some harder days than this. But ultimately, on day number one, we didn't win the game. So a bit of a disappointing day, really, in this opening game of the season, unfortunately, but there will be better days to come. Let's just go and check in with what we're up to in the fixture list for the next episode. What we're going to come back for is we're going to come back for this home match against Southampton. We're going to be in this one season for quite a long time with Villa. We're probably going to get about 10 episodes out of this. So we don't have to miss out too many games in terms of between matches that we play on the episodes. So we're going to come back for Southampton, then probably Man United is the next game for us after that one. So that's where we're going to go over the next couple of episodes. The next episode will be out on Monday, usual time at 6:30 p.m. UK time. So come and check me out over there. Between now and then, there'll be Twitch streams starting as well over on twitch.tv/the United City FM. So come and join me over there every weekday afternoon, 3 till 5 p.m. mostly. So that's something to look out for. There's all sorts of links in the description below to get involved in my Discord. My Patreon is there. My merch store is there. My Twitter feed is there. Come and join me on all of those things and become a big part of my United City community. But that's going to do it for today. Next episode, Southampton. We've got them in the cup first. Then we come back and play them next episode in the league. I'll update you on the cup game as well. But until then, thank you for joining me for this first episode of a brand new game, a brand new series. It's going to be a lot of fun, FM22, I'm sure, once we just get our head around it. If you've got any thoughts about your own saves in the comments below, let me know how you're getting on with FM22. Until next time, thank you for joining me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button for me on this particular episode. That'll help me be seen by more people. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.